Yo, we talking about groceries on FBA. Yo, easy. Yeah. J to the O, the Mayos. Groceries on FBA. What you know about that? Step your game up, suck it.
Souvenirs I got in Europe last year.
Right.
And I mean, they're non-branded. They're just kind of generic things. And I didn't get started on them right away, but I got started with them in first quarter finally, and I've sold like 100 units, and I'm just about out, and I need to reorder. So I've got two potential sources of contacts. Number one, I've got a couple of vendors from Italy that, you know, that I bought the stuff from originally that I've contacted, and they can get more for me. But then number two, I was doing a search on Alibaba.
Right.
And in the past, I hadn't found these products. But then yesterday, here's the first thing I'm wondering what I should do about it, if anything. Yesterday, I found this supplier on Alibaba. And at first, I think, oh, great, he's got the products I'm looking for. Then I realized he actually took my photo from Amazon. And that's what he's displaying is, hey, I've got these products. So I guess my general question is, you know, number one, I mean, have you in the past dealt with Chinese manufacturers and so forth? Or if I've already got distributors that I could buy the stuff from, you know, would you have a preference going one way or the other?
Well, you know, I mean, if it's a significant price difference, then, you know, because it's going to be a lot of work. You know, I'm not really a big fan of private label for myself because, you know, we like having fun really in this business. Right. I can go work for somebody else and, you know, do a lot of hard work. You know, so I do the things I enjoy. You know, I like helping people. I like, you know, doing online arbitrage, and I like going to stores and finding stuff, going online and finding stuff. So, you know, that's the kind of things that we do, you know, but, you know, some people might, you know, just want to do some work and, you know, buy stuff wholesale or, you know, create a product, you know.
Well,
so
I'm glad you bring up the work ethic.
Right. I have done private label, you know, and I know how to, you know, do all that. But, you know, we chose to do these other things. Plus, there's a lot bigger, you know, return. But, I mean, if you already have something that's selling, then, you know, you always
and it wasn't per se that I was looking for a private label product yet. Like I said, I bought these souvenirs and thought, hey, I'll give these a shot. And now they're selling. But then my next question is along the lines of, I guess this is similar to private label in terms of branding. Like if I want to put a name on, you know, a brand name and so forth, you know, you don't have to go through all the details and so forth. But can you tell me in general, you know, what the process is to get the brand registered with Amazon? And number two, what the benefits are of doing that?
Right. Well, I mean, to finish the first question, you know, if you're going to make, you know, if you think you can do it significantly easier by going to Alibaba, were they a Chinese manufacturer? Because anybody can sell on Alibaba, you know.
Right. No, they were Chinese, and I may be off base here, but I'm becoming a nationalist. I'd prefer to keep it here in the States.
Right.
And
but
so,
either way, you're not going to buy it from America anyway.
Oh, that's a good point. But you know, you talked about the money or the time aspect, and it would cost me a little more getting these out of Europe. But I think I'm just assuming the additional hassle it takes to try to work with a Chinese manufacturer might be more than worthwhile to pay a little more for them.
Right. Well, you know, it's going to be a hassle, but once you get it, you know, perfect, then, you know, you're going to have the perfect product if you think it's an evergreen product you can always sell. So, you know, basically you already have the product, so you're not creating something out of thin air. So you can send that product, you know, to your Chinese manufacturer and tell them I need this made. So then if it molds or things, you know, that can cost a lot of money for them to create a mold. And then, you know, you have to get samples, and when there's changes, you got to get changes on the samples, you know, because they only have a picture right now. So you really want what it is that they have.
Well, I'm kind of wondering if they've started manufacturing it, but I doubt they did because, like I said, they lifted my photo from Amazon and said, oh, we have these available.
They just do that. I mean, they have people working for them that will go and look for the kind of things that they make. You know, they're making plastic things or wooden things or metal or whatever. Right. They're going to go out and search for those kind of products, and say, well, we could make this, but there's no point in them. They're not manufacturing things just waiting for somebody,
Right. Sure, that makes sense.
They're showing, thousands or millions of pictures on each one of those Alibaba sites of stuff they could make.
Gotcha.
So, it's a long process, but, you can always do both. If you're running out, buy them from the company that's already has them, and work on, growing that, with the Chinese manufacturer.
That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Keep both avenues open.
Then for registering your brand, it's not a whole lot to do. I mean, once you create a product with that brand name, you can, it's called the Amazon Brand Registry. I don't have the link, but I'm sure you can just Google it, and you register that brand as you're the brand owner, and you enter all your contact information. Kind of like setting up an account, and then you're going to be able to stop other people from selling your brand, same as, Nike and Under Armour and, all these.
So, I mean,
Sony.
So like, for example, this product right now is generic. And one of the benefit potentially of I was thinking of working with the Chinese manufacturers, then maybe they can imprint my brand on the product.
Right.
And which potentially gives me a little more leverage in terms of stopping others from selling the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. Because then, what most manufacturers are doing, which is illegal and, against all kinds of rules, but a lot of us have seen that, is they just buy it, and report it as counterfeit, if it is or if it isn't, because it wasn't bought from them. But, if you have your brand name on a product, nobody can buy that. Nobody can, wholesale that from somewhere else. So if somebody else is selling it, it either came from you or, it's not that. So all you have to do is buy it and, claim that it's counterfeit. The product has to match exactly what's on Amazon. So if it's in a different box or, anything, the same things we've talked about with bundles. The problem is if, you don't have that box with that same sticker on it, then it's a different product, and you're not, selling the right thing, and you're selling counterfeit products. Even if it has, brand name cookies and whatever else inside the box, it's the whole product has to match exactly. And that, that's the point of branding. That's the point of private labeling and branding, putting it in your own box, or, even if your product doesn't have, your name burned into it or printed on the product, it only has to be on the packaging. You can create custom packaging for that product,
yeah, that's a good point.
Selling it. But, if it's not something easy to find, you can only source it from some wholesalers in Italy. You probably don't have a lot of an issue with somebody else selling those same products.
Gotcha.
I would assume. I don't know what it is, but that's your best bet. But, if it's significant savings, I would start looking into sourcing from China. And it's good practice, because once you do that, then, you already know the process, and it'll be that much easier to, move on to the next product sourcing.
Yeah. I got you. All right. Thanks.
All right. So, some of the other things I wanted to talk about was there's a lot of people have issues with, how many sellers are on products. I'm going to share my screen for this because I found some good examples. Speaker. Okay. So, I found some really good examples, and this product, probably not something that we would source, but it doesn't, it really doesn't matter. So I went to Amazon's Movers and Shakers, and this product is actually ranked, I think, number 3 right now. It's one of the top few items on the Movers and Shakers. It's number 3 in toys. So a great product. You might not be able to source it for $10. Amazon's selling it for $27.59, and nobody else is anywhere near that. So, if we look at the amount of sellers on here, 6 collectible and 102 new. Most people aren't going to, want to sell that. I mean, who wants to sell a product that has 102 sellers on it? You would think. But, when you investigate a little further, this, if you can source it for the right price, of course, is a great product, I think. And the reason why it's this price is, if we go over to, I went and looked it up on OAX-Ray, and, you can get a lot of information even if you're not buying the product. Of course, if you buy it and sell it for the same price, you lose about $10. But, you may be able to source this wholesale. But what we see is, they're actually matching Walmart's price. And when you don't understand why Walmart or Amazon is doing something, it really has a lot to do with the competitive market. And they're competing with brick and mortar stores. So, everyone else may be selling it for $40. They come in at $27.59. And, who knows why they do that. But when you start looking at prices at other places, you start to learn why, Amazon's doing a lot of the things that they're doing. And you can see here, they're obviously price matching Walmart. So that's going to, tell you, especially when you look at a product and you see a lot of price changes. So if we look at Keepa for this, you can see, their price does fluctuate a lot. And that's so they can compete. So if I go back over here, so again, over 100 sellers, not something you want to do. But then when we look at this, I always tell everybody to, only worry about competing sellers. So we may have, over 100 sellers selling this product new, but I mean, if we go all the way to page 11, Amazon's selling it for $27. This seller is selling it for $63.90. So are we competing with sellers that are selling a product for $64? No. We're only competing with people that are going to be in our price range. So if we're competing with Amazon or the next lowest FBA seller, then that's all we have to worry about. We don't have to worry about 100 sellers. We have to worry about, maybe we're just waiting for Amazon to sell out, or if Amazon's not even in here, the next seller on FBA is $39.22. So, if we just look at Prime, this is all the sellers there are. So we went from 100 sellers down to 10, and a lot of these we're not competing with. If we're selling it at 40, and Amazon sells out, or Amazon was never on it, if this product was, looked like this, and we're selling it for 40, the guy selling it for 70 isn't our competition. The guy selling it for 60 isn't our competition. The guy selling it for 50 isn't our competition. And this $46, is used, and it's one of the highest prices. So the 40, the $45 sellers are what we're going to be competing with, not the 100 sellers. These 5 sellers are our only competition. So, you really need to look into these products that you see a lot of sellers on. Don't worry about all the sellers. Worry about who you're competing with. And, I don't compete with merchant fulfilled sellers. Okay. Nobody that has Prime wants to buy merchant fulfilled. I made that mistake last year. I bought some merchant fulfilled products and they were horrible experiences. I got things that didn't match. They weren't what's in the pictures, or, maybe you just don't want it. You can't just send those things back. You have to fight and beg and argue, open cases, open A to Z claims, all these things that I had to do at Christmas time last year, simply because there were errors in the listings. Let alone if I just didn't want it, because it's okay to not want a product on Amazon. That's why people go to Amazon, because, it's easy, hassle-free returns. So almost every Prime seller Our prime buyer is not going to buy merchant fulfilled unless they have no other option. And then, we can see a lot of these merchant fulfilled people are probably just drop shipping. They might be buying from Amazon and selling it merchant fulfilled, or buying from some other place, buying it from Walmart. A lot of these are big sellers, 20,000 rank total books, and says brand new book, may dispatch from the US or the UK standard delivery, and they have 149,000 ratings. I mean, they've sold millions of probably books, but products in the last year. And, they could be drop shipping, or, a lot of these are probably drop shippers buying them at a cheaper price just to make, pennies on each transaction. So these are all things that you need to be aware of and be looking at. So, in my estimation, I have 5 competing sellers on this listing other than Amazon. When you look at the main page, you see, over 100. But that's really not the case. You need to look at only Prime and only products that, are in your price range. So, once you knock all that out, we knocked out, over 95% of our competition just by narrowing those couple of items down. So I hope everybody's still following me. If you have any questions, just, post them in the chat. The next thing I wanted to talk about is, I don't know if anybody's using tactical arbitrage. I've been beta testing it. It still has some problems, but I've been using it since the beginning. But what I wanted to share with you, they have a tool, and it's $7 a month. It's called their scripts, so they're doing whatever to get you product leads. But they have what's called a review script, and what this does is it lets you enter an ASIN, and somebody has posted about it. I think Rob O'Connor had posted about it. And what it does is it looks at all the reviews for an ASIN. So if you have, so I'm going to show you a few examples. I just went to the movers and shakers again for shoes, and I looked at a couple of examples. I believe this is the first example. And we entered the ASIN, and I'm going to do it again, just so you guys see how it works. So you enter the ASIN, and it'll look at all the reviews for every page. So if you don't know, each variation of any product has their own individual reviews. They don't have a rank, most of them, but they'll have reviews. So every size you see here in every one of these variations, when you select the size and the style, you can look at reviews, and all these reviews are for this exact shoe. So every time that you look at a different one, it's going to have different reviews. So this pulls in all of the different reviews. This is going to pull in all the different reviews and tell you what percentage of the total. This is actually a different product. The menu goes away. We can load it. Okay. So once I entered the information, it's going to pull the reviews for every one of these, and depending on how many, there's 19 pages, so it can take a little bit of time. So I did preload this one, and this may not be a BOLO for somewhere, but I just went to the movers and shakers so I could find some hot products that had a lot of reviews to show you. So this is going to pull it up in 3 different ways, as you can see here. So this is going to bring up, this one is each individual item. So this is showing size 9 in the style gray lime. But the second section is going to show you only the sizes. So this is the reviews for each individual variation. This is going to show you all the size variations, and then this is the color or style variations. So, you know, each individual shoe has the highest percentage. Now, some of these have hundreds, so, you know, the percentages is going to be very low. And I did do a purse as another example, but I just want to show you everything that this can do. And by the way, this this tactical arbitrage is $100 a month, so, you know, I'm not telling you go get that, but, you know, if you're buying a lot of the clothes and the shoes and things with a lot of variations and aren't exactly sure which ones to get yet, this is actually only $7. So there's a main one, and then there's what they call the review script. It's only $7. You get a week for free, and it's $7 a month. There's no affiliate or anything like that, but, you know, if you want to check it out for a week, if you think there's something that can help you, it's just tacticalarbitrage.com. So if we go down to the sizes, you know, there's a good example because this could show you what the more popular sizes are. You know, and remember, this isn't going to be, you know, exact. You know, this isn't any real Amazon data, but this is only showing you based on the reviews. And a lot of these don't have a lot of reviews for each one. So even for sizes, all the size 11s only have 6 reviews. As you can see here, most of these only have 1 review, and most of the ones I go to and have looked at are only a few, the percentage is only a few percent. But if we go and look at, you know, the sizes overall, I mean, these are kids, but you can see which ones are probably the most popular sizes, as well as styles. It's going to show you the most popular styles as well. So if we go over and look at, this is a purse. So it had, I guess, 40 pages of reviews. And you can see, you know, some of the styles. Of course, there are a lot of styles, whatever, 20 or 30 here. But you can see, you know, this one is, you know, way out ahead of all the rest. The Persian Paisley has 17 reviews. You know, and products like this shoe, you know, may seem like it doesn't have 20 or 30, but you have to look at each size and then multiply that by each style. So, you know, up to 20 sizes and, you know, 20 or more different styles. I mean, that's 400 variations. And this isn't showing you every one. It only shows you down to, I think it's 0.5%. And then it's going to, you know, call the rest of them. You know, but when you find ones with such small numbers, this really isn't a good judge. You know, we're talking 2.5%, but it's only one of each one. You know, but, you know, sometimes it can be helpful, and for only $7 a month, it's, you know, not that hard. And this is the listing. As you can see, I picked this because there wasn't, you know, a whole lot of different ones. In Vera Bradley, it's ranked 260 in shoes. Probably shouldn't even be in shoes. But it did have 400 reviews. So as you can see, you know, that this could be helping out a lot of people now. Right. So, you know, so Rob wanted to know what impact does Amazon's new restrictions on registration and use of UPC codes have on piggybacking on multiple listings? So, okay, so that really doesn't apply to this question. Okay, so piggybacking on multiple. Okay, I read it wrong. I'm sorry. So Amazon's restrictions on registration and use of UPC codes have on piggybacking on multi-pack listings. So I don't know exactly yet. Usually you need your own UPC, and we haven't had a problem, you know, listing with UPCs and, as long as we're using the right UPCs registered to us, we've been able to create those listings. I know there's been some blogs where people said that you couldn't. Now, but you're talking about piggybacking, so you're listing against already created ones. And the worst case scenario, as far as the questions and the calls I've made to Amazon, is that I'm going to go out of here. Really, the worst case scenario so far is that is that if it's not a valid UPC and it belongs to something else, what they're going to it's going to count against the person who originally created it, because they were using counterfeit UPCs. So if you did that, then I haven't heard of anybody getting suspended yet, but really what Amazon's told me is that they're going to take down the listings, if it's an issue. They don't want to take down thousands or millions or who knows, tens of millions of listings that are, that are selling products. So, but, if a UPC, if you went to eBay, bought a UPC, and whatever company auto-generated them in the right format and sold them to you, and you're using them, but one was legally bought from the GS1, who owns all UPCs, and it belongs to Nabisco shredded wheat, and somebody else is trying to list Nabisco shredded wheat with that UPC, then obviously they're the ones that are going to have the rights to that UPC. So, what Amazon's doing is really in, everyone's best interest. When you scan a UPC and you see 30 different products come up, that was a problem. So what I think is going to happen is, if it's conflicting, they're going to take that listing, they're going to remove that listing or require a valid UPC, whatever they're going to do. What I've heard is that they're going to, remove that listing. So that's all that's going to happen. You're going to have to relist it, on a correct product listing. You're going to have to create it, or somebody else is going to have to create it. And, that product's going to be there again. You listing on somebody else's already created one that wasn't valid, is not your fault. You're you're listing against Amazon's catalog, so you didn't do anything wrong. And I think the worst case scenario is the ones that did do something wrong, they're going to take those products down when they conflict with something, that's registered with the GS1. But going forward, when you try and list things, right now it's randomly. I would assume in the future they're going to automatically be checking that, because there is a GS1 database. You can go there. You can go to the GS1 website, and you can look up any UPC. It's going to tell you who it's registered to. I scanned a bunch of products I had from Walmart and other, even Walmart, like generic items. Like I had these actually I scanned these some Star Wars gummies that I got for my daughter that were on clearance at Sam's, and the UPC came up as being owned by Walmart. So, you can buy anywhere from a single digit up to whatever it is, 7 digits of a UPC code. So each digit's going to multiply, by 10. So one digit, you're going to get, 0 through 9. So that's going to be 10 UPCs. And, if you buy the 2 digits, then, it's 100 and 1,000, 10,000, and so forth. So, up to millions, and they're going to be registered to your name. So when you list something, it's going to have to match, either the product name, according to Amazon so far. Of course, they could be changing these rules daily. They have to match the product name, so when you create it, if, Nabisco, it's got to match that, or it needs to match your business information. So if it doesn't match your business information, the product's information, then, they're not going to allow it. And, that's really all I know about that so far. But, if you're just listing products and not creating products, then, I wouldn't worry about any of this stuff. You know, they're not going to suspend your account because you listed a product that was already created. So I hope that answers your question. So Gideon said he has a product he bought from Amazon that is in frustration-free packaging. Yeah, so I didn't realize this when I bought it. I can make some money on it. I turn around and sold it as Amazon as a regularly packaged item since I'm not permitted to sell frustration-free items. Is selling frustration-free products on the regularly priced listing allowed, or should I sell this on eBay? Yeah, I would either return it or sell it on eBay. You could sell it as used. I don't know. I know what frustration-free packaging looks like. And it's basically they open the product and stick it in a box and send it to you, so you don't have any packaging or bags or anything to open. You know, so a while ago I was approved. It's not that hard to get approved, but of course, if you're just flipping it from Amazon, that's not something you want to do. But if it's in frustration-free packaging, that means it has no packaging. The box has been opened and all the stuff is loose inside of a bag or a box from Amazon. So you can't sell it as new because it's not new, you know, unless it's frustration-free. And nobody's approved for that automatically. You have to be approved, you know, one product at a time. You have to apply, send pictures, and you know, you can get approved. But again, flipping products it's not going to work that way. And usually there's an option, regular and frustration-free, or, you know, it might say it's just for, you know, I don't think I've ever seen just frustration-free. You know, but I would get rid of it. I wouldn't sell it as new on Amazon at all. It's in frustration-free packaging because it's not new anymore. It's, you know, according to Amazon, if you sent it in, it would be, you know, used. Yeah, just a brown box, right? And usually it has that like pull tab, so you just gotta like rip it open and, you know, dump the stuff out. It's like big on toys and, you know, stuff that are in big blister packs and things like that. So I would assume it's probably a toy, which is how I see most things. Yeah, so is there any other questions? Another front, I know a lot of Mastermind members joined my my back-end sourcing tool, and that seems to be going quite well. No complaints recently, but we now have over 1 million products that are in our database. So you know, that's pretty exciting, and every day it's growing. It's ridiculous what we've found so far. So this is kind of the administration menu, but we're trying to give access to this to everybody, you know, in a way that is going to work. But so we've already gotten over 1 million products on Walmart. You know, people estimate there's somewhere around 2 million products on Walmart at least. You know, nobody knows because nobody's ever done this. But you know, the reason I created this is because the problem I had, you know, if you use OA X-ray, if you go to Walmart, if you do deep searching, then you're going to know you can only get 1,000 products in any search or any category. So if we go to Walmart, there's 40 products on a page, and every category ends at 25 pages. You know, so that's 1,000 products. So if you go to electronics, computers, computer accessories, and search, it's going to show you 25 pages, you know, but there's actually 40,000 products. It's 40 times what it's showing you, you know, and the same with all these categories. And of course it goes, this is ordered by total products, but, you know, some things won't go to 25 pages, but, you know, the ones that do, you know, we were able to search for something specifically. You know, but I made this tool for myself, and I used it a lot before I ever shared it. You you know, because I didn't really plan on doing that, but, you know, as more and more problems came up, then, you know, you know, I decided that, you know, it was something we should really share. You know, so if you're using it, it's just, you know, not trying to push people to buy it, but, oh yeah, Bill, great. Yeah, I was going to talk about that. I didn't, I wasn't avoiding it. I just forgot. So, Bill said, can we talk for a minute about what is going on in shoes and ASINs being split? You know, there's a big discussion over in the Mastermind group. So, you know, we've seen it on a few things. There's a lot of big shoe sources there. Sam Cohen does some, I don't know, I think he's already sold over $1 million in shoes this year. So they're seeing it a lot more. But what's going on, and they've called, I've called, lots of people have called. And, you know, sometimes they'll give you a good answer, sometimes they won't. But what I've been able to piece together is that what they're doing is they're splitting variations. So, you know, right now what we looked at was, I should share my screen again. So what, you know, what we looked at today was, okay, something like this. So in the end, it's going to make it a lot easier for us. Some people don't think so. I think this is going to be really good once they get done. But they're splitting all of these into multiple ASINs. Right now, we have one, what's called a parent ASIN. So actually each variation, what most people don't understand is each variation has their own ASIN. You just can't see it. You know, it's hard to find. If you use OA X-ray, it'll show them all to you, and some other tools. There's some extensions that'll give them to you, or when you go to list, it'll show you all the variations. But actually each size and each for each variation has its own ASIN, but it's not displayed. It's called a child ASIN, and then this number, this ASIN right here is the parent ASIN. So a parent ASIN isn't actually tied, doesn't belong to a single item. It's just linking all of this stuff together. So when you go here, it's going to show you all of these. So what their plan is, and it's happening, we've seen it in clothing, some Nike clothes and some other main brand, you all right over there? Some other main brands. So we think they're going to do it in clothes. They're definitely doing it in shoes. But what they're, you know, and it looks kind of confusing sometimes, but what they're doing is they're splitting all the variations up now. So each style will have its own parent ASIN. So instead of looking at, you know, all these shoes and all these sizes, you know, this shoe, you know, will be on its own detail page eventually with all the sizes. So we'll be able to get a lot better judge of what's selling. So we won't have to guess between all these styles. We'll only have to guess between sizes, which makes things a lot easier because we know what's sold out. Of course, we want to buy items that are completely sold out on Amazon, you know, not available. But you know, we can guess on, you know, the sizes that are most popular. But when we have all these styles to guess between and all the sizes, you know, we're talking about, you know, a ton of stuff. I mean, just this listing has, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It has 18 sizes and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20 colors. So that's 300. This one listing has 300, could have up to 360 variations. It may not have every size and every style, but it probably does. You know, so what I've been told personally by multiple Amazon reps and Some of them just had no idea what I was talking about, but you know, the ones that do seem to say that you know, I put it together from everything. And yeah, I'm pretty confident they're not doing it on purpose. I've talked to multiple people who have told me that they're splitting them up by style. You know, I deal with some pretty big sellers who actually have dedicated Amazon reps that they can pick up a phone and call. And, you know, and when you're selling $1 million, you know, in shoes a year, you know, there's something pretty important. So by splitting the shoe ASIN, I assume the buyer won't be able to look at all the colors on one page. So I don't know that. I don't know how they're going to do it. You know, it would be nice if they maybe kept that and made separate detail pages so that, you know, you see all the styles, but when you click on it, you know, there's a different parent ASIN for each one, you know, and then we'd have ranking information for each style, you know, which would be, you know, a wonderful thing. But again, they're in the middle of splitting all this stuff up. So, you know, we're just dealing with the consequences. So we don't know what's going on. I'm confident that it's not a glitch, but I don't know what's going to happen when they're done. Because obviously they're not going to implement it on the detail pages, you know, until they're done doing whatever it is that they're doing. And as far as our okay, so Barry wanted a link for the video we made. This is a sign-up page. The link is right there in the video. I'm not pushing it, but I do have about a dozen other stores that I'm going to be able to pull the information out of. So, you know, if you want to get in on it, we're setting up an affiliate program for some other sellers, you know, and people who run groups and things that really want to promote this. So the price is going to about double. I think we're going to raise it to about $50 pretty soon. So, you know, it's like $29 and you're able to download over 1 million products from Walmart. And basically what it does is you can download each category as a spreadsheet and then you can upload it to OA X-ray or, you know, scan sheets or, you know, there's like a dozen different tools that will, you know, process that, and you can see what's good and what's, you know, sorted by rank or however you want to. But we do have about a dozen other, you know, places that we're looking into. So, you know, if you're interested in checking it out, you know, before the price goes up, and, you know, that's about all there is to it. I mean, people are, you know, I think really doing pretty well with it. So, you know, at least watch the video, see what you think. And of course, if you go into the Mastermind group, there's a page called Backend Sourcing. And, you know, while we're talking about that, there are some features and things. If you really haven't been exploring the Mastermind membership site, then, you know, you're really missing out on a lot. This is what people have been asking for a long time, a place that they can have all their stuff, not just in a pin post on Facebook. And, you know, we put a lot of work into it. You all have accounts that we created. Hopefully you logged in at some point. You know, there's a ton of stuff. We are going to be opening this up to the public at some point, but only you guys and people who have bought some of our other tools have access to it. So whichever group you're in, 1 or 2, there may be a 3, you know, as soon as these fill up, this is going to be where your leads are. You also get them in an email, of course. After this amount of time, I mean, everybody should be getting their leads somehow, or I don't know why you'd still be in the group if, you know, your leads just got cut off a month ago. This page is the slowest one to load. We, you know, and there's not a lot we can do with that because we are loading multiple spreadsheets into that for you at one time. So all the discounts that I think everybody ignored that were in the that you had in your in the pin post, along with everything else, are now here with links. And I think I just opened this page like 10 times. So I'm gonna have to reshare this. So here we are. This is a video which may not be showing to you, but there's you know, a video talking about what's on the page, and then you can link to the master list of every lead we've ever found. Basically, we update them about once a month. We go in and we, you know, pull out things that may not be worth it buying anymore. You can download. Each one is sent to you daily. It's Monday through Friday. I don't want to really show too much because I don't want to give other people your leads, you know, if you're in this group. So you can select column visibility here, and you can select any of the columns you want to see. You can turn them on, turn them off, however you want to do it, and then you can print right from here. Or you can download them as a PDF, and you also get this as an email as well every day, and it will link you directly to that page. And you can show more than 10, or you can search for certain brands, certain stores, whatever you want in here. And you know, this is definitely go past page 1 because we've been posting a lot more than 10 almost every single day. So you know, that's where your leads are, but I mean, that's only the beginning. This is all the discounts that we've been able to negotiate for you guys, which is a lot, and linkable to them. So, you know, if it's a special link, then you can just click on the link. If there's more information, a lot of them are going to link you right back to the mastermind group where, you know, we've put pages together and there's discussions about each individual one. And, you know, a lot of these we did webinars as well, which you can see at the, and these are all discounts that are exclusive to us. And actually, if you want to use OA X-Ray, we do have a mastermind group where I've made a ton of extra content on that as well. And you get a 10-day trial now. They just changed that. We'll have to update that. Discounts. And then the newest thing we've done is we've taken all of the videos and we still have a lot more to add, but there's well over 100 videos now, and we've put them into categories. So you know, whatever you need to look at, you know, prepping and packing, you know, preparing your work area, stuff on retail arbitrage, tools, the interviews with the people that we have all the discounts on, you know, wholesale training, OA, RA, all the Monday masterminds, and they're all, you know, organized on the page, and they're, you know, with descriptions of what they are. You can watch them right through here. You can click on the link, and it'll take you to YouTube. Almost all of these are not public, you know, so, you know, don't share them. I mean, this is part of what you're paying for. There's some that we have released, you know, some of the ones that we put into our other groups that are free, but we've also put them in here, you know, because they help with the flow of the things that you need. But, you know, most of these are not for the general public. And of course, if you want to check out the back-end sourcing, this is the page to sign up. If you're a member of the retail sourcing team, you can go here, and this is going to show you all the leads, same as if you were for whatever mastermind group you're in. And then if you've subscribed to our Gumroad list of, you know, the free bolos, we posted every one of those here. And here are some, this is all the software and all the hardware tools that we use for our business. Plus some, I wouldn't suggest you go and buy every, no matter what place in your business you're at. I would suggest you go buy all of this stuff. These are things that we use, but, if you're not selling shoes and shoe boxes, you may not need rubber bands. And we use a lot more than these sizes, but, I put this here just as, as an example. Of course, we're not buying boxes from Amazon that I believe I have in here. Some different box sizes, but, this is showing you what you should be using. But we do use, 2-inch tape, 3-inch tape, 2-inch tape dispensers, some books that you shouldn't want to live without, markers, labels. Most people don't know to use these, to cover up your UPCs. You only have to interrupt the labels, and, I've got videos on that as well in the training. And, all the specific things we use. Probably the only thing that's on here that we don't use are these Dymo label printers. I've been using Brother QL570 since I started, and they're discontinued, and they're, hard to use with scan power and other tools, because Dymo released an API that developers can put that into Inventory Lab and Scan Power, and so Dymo's a lot easier to use. But I use the Brothers. They last a lot longer, but they don't even make them anymore. They're hard to configure. But I mean, everything else. If you've seen pictures, I've shown of, these are the exact labels I use. This is what I use for expiration dates, and, of course, Scotty peelers, and then software. There's all the software we use for our business, Merchant Words, TaxJar, Bubble Fast has a 10% discount, so there's also in your discount area, Ungating, these are all the cashback sites that we use. I would suggest that you sign up for every cashback site, that you either see or use, because we use, if you haven't seen the video, it's really one of the, I wouldn't say one of my best videos, but I'd say it's one of the most important ones. And that is, showing you to use CardBear. Everybody should be using CardBear and Cashback Monitor. And I take you through them in that video. But this site is apparently not working. Okay, so this is going, whatever store we want to shop at to get cash back, it's going to show you what, all the cashback sites that have the best rates. So I see Target there. Let's just, let's type in Target. And again, this isn't a cashback site. This is just going to show you the best cashback site to use today, because as you probably know, most cashback sites, are running deals all the time, a few a week, a few days a week, or for a weekend, or, they'll have a week long deals. But not only does it show the cashback sites, it also shows, the sites for credit card points, other reward points, which like Swag Bucks, and not sure what that memo link is, but Swag Bucks usually lets you like buy stuff. You can get like gift cards and other things. These are for credit cards that are doing travel miles, or through their malls, like Choice Privileges Online Mall. You're gonna get 4 points to the dollar instead of 1. Or Hilton Honors, Marriott, all of those. And then these are the cashback sites. So this is going to show you which one. Now, normally I wouldn't go to Simply Best Coupons for their cashback. Maybe I'd go to Ebates. I really like Ebates. I like Be Frugal. But you can see Ebates is giving you 2%. Be Frugal is giving you 1%. But the Simply Best Coupons is giving you 4.5% cash back right now. you know, and these sites, you know, are constantly changing. Every day it's different. So I always go here when I'm going to use the cashback. And again, this is just, they probably are getting an affiliate link for sending you to them to use their affiliate links, but Card Bear does the same thing. They're just an affiliate tool, I assume, but they don't sell any cards. They're just going to show you the best percentages. So, you know, right now the biggest price drop is, I don't even, Stage Bell's Pebbles. I don't know if that's a Bell's gift card, but let's look at Bath and Body Works. And this is going to show you, you know, all the sites that are the best places to buy the card right now. So if you went to Raise, it's only 1.8%, but Savia, which I've never even heard of, is giving you 17.6% cash back. And all these other ones are, you know, sold out. You know, usually I might go to Gift Card Zen, you know, Card Cash, Card Pool, but they're all sold out right now. And on top of that, we can look at a graph of historical information as to where these prices have been. So, you know, we know that right after Christmas every year, usually the cashback percent goes way down. So, you know, this is the time to be buying right after Christmas. When you get your money, stock up on those cards, because everybody sells their cards from Christmas. Every single year they get all these cards, you know, to go to places they've, you know, never heard of or don't care about. And then they go on here and sell them and, you know, trade them in for ones they do or get money or whatever for them. So the, you know, the worst cashback of the year is always going to be right here, you know, in January, right after Christmas. I mean, you can see it went from 15% down to whatever this is, 3%. It went from 15 to 3%, and right now it's up to 18%. You know, at one point it was, what, 27% off. So, you know, as people sell them, you know, of course, there's a big bulk of them. So, you know, the percentage, the money that they're giving, you know, gets less and less, and it grows over time. So, okay. So I see I missed a lot of questions. Barry, so Barry said, does this tool require having OA X-ray? So I'm assuming we're talking about my tool again, but it doesn't. But what it does is, this isn't an Amazon sourcing tool. This is a tool that's going to give you, and I can just go over here real quick, but it's going to give you, you know, basically every UPC in a category. So the only page you're really going to see is this export data. Okay, let me log in. I'll log in as a regular user. And this is what you're going to see. So you're going to log in. You can go to this export data, and it's going to let you download links to buy, prices, UPCs for all these products, and then you can do whatever you want to do with the information. So this is just the example one, the first one here. So this is basically what you're going to get, but you're also going to get a download link. So you're going to get their item ID at Walmart. You're going to get the name, the price, the UPC, the category, and their category ID number, as well as this is available or not available on the website. So, you know, what you see in stores may be completely different. So if you're doing, you know, retail arbitrage, You know, you can find a lot of bolos, a lot of things that are sold out online. And there's a lot of products that, you know, every product sold in stores isn't online, and every product sold online, you know, isn't in stores. So, you know, it just means it's not available on the website. So a lot of people are making use of that, you know, to find a lot of sold out or out of stock bolos and make, you know, good lists to buy in store. So when you make a purchase, when you select your category, you could select, you know, I think there's about 800 categories now. I'll go ahead and download this one. All you do is select whichever category you want. And these are all ones that have been downloaded so far. And then you can select whatever you want and search. And it's going to bring up that category. This category only has 339 products in it. And now you can search inside of this category. So, you know, if you wanted to only see a brand, I see there's a lot of T-View televisions in here. So if we search T-View, it's only going to bring up those products. So there's 29 products now. So it's going to bring up all of those, and then we can download just that list. Or you can search by anything. You can, you know, anything here you see, you can search by. So when we get this, this is what it looks like. You have the input cost. Oops, I guess I was looking at the wrong spreadsheet. Data. Okay, just so you can see that they're the UPCs. It shows you the category. There's the category number. Seller info is usually the manufacturer. You know, the status and the URL to actually go there and buy it. So what you can do is, as I said, this isn't, you know, giving you the Amazon information. This is pulling all the information from Walmart, and in the future it's going to do it from hopefully a lot of other places as well. You know, we're working on Home Depot. We're looking into possibly doing Target. They're not really open to, you know, third parties using their API, but there's some other things we can do, and you know, there's some other tools that are going to be able to download. You know, the other tools, you know, which are great. I use them myself. Tactical arbitrage, OA X-ray, things like that. They're going to the page and downloading the data, so you only get what the website's going to give you. This tool, on the other hand, is going to pull all the data from Walmart. You know, and then you can, so all you need to process data with Amazon is you need a UPC, you need a price, and, you know, you don't even need a link, but we have that link where you could buy it online later on. So if you use scan sheets, you can upload this to scan sheets. You know, you can upload it to OA X-ray, you can upload it to Scan Power Evaluate, you know, or any of those tools that we've talked about or we haven't talked about that will let you process a list of UPCs, the same as from a wholesaler or anywhere else. I did mention OA X-ray because they don't charge, you know, there's no limit. They don't charge on how much to use. You know, we do have a discount at a new tool Scott Margolis is using, and you get, I think, about 3,000 scans for free to try it out, that we'll be posting in the next couple days. You know, so there's a lot of tools out there to process this data, and then you can narrow it down the same as you would with something from any wholesale site. You know, so I hope that answers that question. Oh yeah, Gideon. Yeah, it's in beta right now. You know, so just like our websites, you know, wherever you register at, you know, we're never going to raise your price. you know, obviously. For one thing, it's, you know, the way we thank you for helping us test out a new tool, you know, and hopefully let us know any problems. You know, you get in at that price, and you know, if we charge $100 a month, it's still going to be whatever price you registered at. Yeah, so we're trying to add new products in, you know, as new websites. It's not going to be, you know, this is back-end sourcing for Walmart, and we're going to make a new tool, you know, for Home Depot. You know, we're going to be putting everything we can into this tool. Okay, so Bill said he hasn't explored the mastermind group as much as I need to. You talked about a place where there's been a discussion about shoes. Is there a discussion area on the mastermind group? Or is it still a Facebook function? So the mastermind website, we really don't, you know, if you want to talk about things, that's been on the, you know, that's what the Facebook group's for. That's the best thing for Facebook is, you know, for talking and discussing, asking questions. And, you know, I would hope that everybody would come there to ask any questions or get help with anything. You know, most of the questions on shoes have been asked to me privately. So, you know, I just want to address it. It's important for, you know, everybody who's sourcing that. And, you know, that's what everybody asked for. So that's why we're supplying a lot more shoe leads now. You know, if you don't want shoe leads, and, you know, I mean, we can really source in any category. Everybody asks for shoes and more, you know, a lot higher average sales price. So, of course, shoes really is the best way to do that. You know, shoes are big on Amazon. I mean, you know, people are selling millions of dollars of just shoes a year. So, you know, that's why we have been sourcing a lot more in shoes. But, you know, if the general consensus goes somewhere else, then, you know, that's what we'll, you know, where we'll head that to. But, you know, there hasn't been a public discussion, I guess, about the shoe issues we talked about tonight. You know, but if you want to talk about anything, the Facebook group is the place to do it. And of course, if you don't see a video on something, I'm going to make another video about things we talked about tonight in the, you know, talking about the amount of competition, because that seems to be, you know, a big question that some people may not grasp totally. So I'm going to make a special video for that. And we're going to put that in there. But if there's anything that you think we should cover, anything we can do to make that, you know, the process, you know, easier, you know, as far as the training videos, you know, I probably still have another 100 videos that I've made. You know, I do a lot of videos and then, you know, may not even share them with people. So we're trying to get them all into the mastermind group. And, you know, doing it through Facebook just made it, you know, really complicated to help people. That's why we've been working for months to develop this website for everyone. And I really hope that, you know, people will start to make use of it, because, you know, looking at those videos through Facebook really was not very easy. But yeah, shoes, Quincy Lynn did a great video. Just going back to look. And don't, you know, as far as the shoes and other things, you know, some of those shoes might not be available because shoes are very seasonal. But, you know, if you go and look at those mastermind, you know, main, you know, the main file, you know, there's at least 500 of them for each group. You know, if you're in the retail group, most of that stuff, you know, never fades away, because, you know, there's bolos that get harder to find, you know, but the ROI usually goes through the roof. You know, so I would look at those main sheets, and there's a ton of good products still in there. Just because people didn't buy them today doesn't mean you know, they're still not worth buying. Things sell out and people quit buying them, and then they come back in stock, and, you know, people are still, you know, buying them, but, you know, the resellers forget about them. So I see we're way over our hour. So if anyone has any questions or wants to talk about anything, please post them into, you know, the Mastermind group on Facebook, and, you know, we'll be happy to help you out with it. And we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.